Happy Monday, everyone. It looks like again, for some reason, even though when I set it up, the StreamYard is not streaming to Facebook, and I don't know why, and I don't think they can tell me why either. So if you are normally a Facebook watcher, I'm going to put this in a replay on Facebook, and see what happens there. I'm not going to worry about it now. I was just going over there trying to figure it out. Why? That's so like my energy this week. Even though this week has huge amounts of energy, not as huge as last week, but lots of stuff going on. So if you're new, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Soul Coach Studio, and I am Soul Coach Michele, your friendly neighborhood super woo and co-creative coach. And we talk about everything spiritual journey related here, mostly manifesting, but everything's manifesting. It's all intertwined. People think there's this box that has manifesting spirituality here. There's this box that has, like elemental magic or elemental medicine, or there's this box that has crystals and shit in there. No, it's all the same. It's all intertwined. It's all connected. Just like everything else, we're all one. It's all good. So we talk about all that stuff here. So I talk about crystals and shamanism and all kinds of things. So anyway, if you're new here, this is my weekly energy report. And sometimes I do cards, sometimes I just channel, sometimes we just talk. And so today there's a lot going on. So first of all, happy spring equinox. Okay. So here's the thing. Thing is that it's like third winter here in the South, which is crazy. Yesterday it was like 20 degrees. 20. So like if you're in Europe and you're watching this, that's like wicked cold. And so all that said, I feel like though it's a turning point, like energetically speaking. I'll speak to the astrology in a minute, but cosmically speaking, y'all, I am it's taking everything in me to be grounded. And I think this is something that you might be feeling as well. So I'm going to encourage you to do a lot of self-love, self-care this week. Continue to ground. If it's warm enough where you are, go ahead and walk around outside with no shoes on if you can. Otherwise, if you have a grounding mat, I have a grounding mat because here in the South, it's usually like, I think we get 3 months of sprinkled throughout the year where it's like nice to go and just be outside without it being freezing or humid as hell. And so I have a grounding mat, and I love to like sit on that or put my feet on it or whatever. So grounding is going to be important this week. And sometimes eating heavier foods like potatoes. Like the other night or last week, I did my Akashic Records journey group. And at the end of it, I was just like, shoo. So I ate about like 4 billion pounds of like mashed potatoes for dinner. And it was so good. So root vegetables, maybe some red meat, things that are grounding, that are much more like chocolate, stuff like that, that's going to help you stay grounded eating wise. If you're not, a meat eater, maybe eat like carrots and potatoes and radishes, things that are in the ground. Again, like being in nature is grounding. So this week, because there's going to be so much stuff changing, it's going to be good to kind of just ground into just the earth, first of all, because that's our first point of like contact. And then grounding into who am I, my values, because, Tauruses and Venus, or Venus is in Taurus. Yeah, that's it. See, I'm so spacey right now. Taurus moved into Venus, which is why you might be feeling like, oh, I'm so cozy and I love being cozy and all that kind of stuff going on. So ground into that kind of whatever feels right for you. Okay. So that's kind of the basis of what I'm going to encourage you to do, because there is going to be a lot of like, blah. So if you thought last week was the biggie, which, it was like, oh my God, I don't know about you, but I've been like ugly crying for like 2 weeks. And then like Friday came and I was like, oh, everything is cool. And that's kind of when the energy of this equinox, the new moon, and this Pluto kind of, sauntering into Aquarius is feeling like. So if you are experiencing these things, that's totally okay. It's normal. But understand, with the new moon coming, today is Aquarius. So today's kind of a quiet, today's equinox. Slow down, Michele. Today's equinox. So it's that point where we are in the middle of winter, right? Spring, yeah, winter and summer. And we are exactly 6 months from the spring, fall equinox. And what that means is today is a great day to sit down and be reflective. If you can kind of stay out of the whole fray of being around all the peoples, that's probably good. Like interact with people that are supportive. Today is more about you kind of sitting down and going, what are the things, good, bad, and ugly, that I navigated for the last 6 months? And understand, I want there to be a new understanding around the lessons and the stuff that was hard. Because people get all upset when I say things like, we really need to be grateful for these things. The things like if somebody did something that you perceived as hurtful, and then you were shifted, your path was shifted, and you may not have gone into what you were doing without that kind of bumping into something that didn't feel good. So, a lot of times when we have those situations where we don't feel comfortable or we're uncomfortable, and somebody else maybe was we interacted with, and that was the source of the discomfort, we get all upset, and that person made me feel. Nobody can make you feel anything. Only we can make we choose to feel certain things. So, and I'm not saying things don't suck. Like people doing shitty things, that sucks. Okay. Not gonna like discount that. But how we decide to move from that time frame into the future is up to us. If we're going to continue for years and years and years going on, that situation, that one situation, I am working from a point of suckage for the next 10 years. That is not good. What you have to do is say, okay, what's going on here? And what am I learning from this? What beautiful thing am I now on the path for because of the shitty thing? Like, okay, several years ago, our house flooded, was destroyed. But now we're selling our house for a really good value. I'm so excited because of that flood, because that flood allowed us to just basically gut and rebuild our dream home here. And now we lovingly bless it and release it and lovingly gift it to or give it or transfer it to, and that love that comes with it to the next person who's going to live here. And do you see how that shit situation is really a blessing in resilience and a blessing now because it's the catalyst for which we are excited to move into a new space when we get wherever we're going, and that kind of thing. So understanding like shit happens, but it's whether you decide to stay in the shit or you decide to look at it and go, okay, what did that gift me? Okay, so that's the last 6 months. What happened? And now what can I declutter, inner and outer? And what am I renovating and what am I keeping? Okay, so that's kind of today. Tomorrow's new moon in Aries. Happy New Year, everybody. Kind of, I know it's another Happy New Year. We had like regular New Year, Lunar New Year, this New Year. So Aries is the first sign. That's why we're moving into cosmology New Year or astrology New Year, whatever they want to call it. I don't know. I'm blending it all together. And so we're moving into this new moon in Aries, which is our first real new moon of the astrological new year. I'm just kind of peeking at my notes here, which is kind of cool because the day after we declutter all the shit and we reflect and we review and we decide, what am I keeping? What's going to Goodwill? What am I tossing out? Um, that whole thing. What now do I want? And the thing that source when I was kind of communing with source this morning, a lot of people think, oh, I got to plant seeds of a thing because I want to manifest this thing. I want to manifest a new job. I want to manifest a new lover. I want to manifest a new house or a new car or more money or more clients or a better gig, whatever. And this trash can is bugging me at my feet. It is not bringing me joy. So I'm going to move it so I can reset my joy. Anyways, but we talk a lot about manifesting things. Like every manifesting teacher out there that I see is all about manifesting a money, lovers, jobs, millions, all of this shit. And quite frankly, I think that's great. I'm not gonna, piss on somebody else's like, whatever your thing is. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is all the stuff that takes that to get to any of those things is the same thing. It's energy and vibration. And that's it. Because here's the thing. I could think to myself, I want to manifest this thing over here. I want to manifest, you know, I don't know. I'm super happy right now because I got a lot of stuff going on. So say I want to manifest a new car or whatever, right? But you are like, you know what? I would love to manifest some chocolate cake. And these are two very different things. Now, the vibration, the energy that gets them to you are the same. So it's, I want to focus on joy, love, and abundance. That's your soul, right? Soul purpose is joy, love, and abundance. How we manifest those into the 3D world is your life purpose. So that said, and that's different for everybody. Soul purpose is the same. Life purpose is different. So if we're going to talk about manifesting, because this is a super fiery Aries full moon, which fire element is all about the manifesting, the cooking up of the yumminess that shows up in the earth energy, which would be next. Okay. But right now, what I'm trying to get at is if you don't have a thing you're going to focus on, like how much a trip to Italy or a new car or a new gig or whatever your jam is, focus on the feeling. Focus on being aligned with your soul. Those feelings, joy, love, abundance. That's what you need to focus on. So if you're going to plant seeds, imagine 3 little seeds in your hand. This is a great ritual for tonight, or actually tomorrow. Today, if you're watching me on the replay Tuesday at, I think, let me check just real quick, because today is equinox at 4, 4, 4:24 p.m. Monday equinox. Yay. So kind of journal today, do some stuff today about, and you're going to stay in that energy. You know, it's reverberates throughout yesterday and tomorrow. So you can journal when you find time today. You don't have to journal right at 4:54. And so, like maybe tonight, set some time and just kind of recap what happened in the last 6 months. Then we're going to do a new moon tomorrow, Tuesday, the 21st at 12:23 p.m. So lunchtime. So maybe that's when we plant our seeds. And you maybe do a meditation where you imagine you're digging, you know, you're kind of like, okay, look at all these wonderful composted things. Like, so imagine as we are journaling on our equinox stuff, all the stuff we're decluttering, we're going to put it in like a composting bin and we're going to let it compost and be like this awesome fertilizery stuff, organic fertilizery stuff that we're going to spread all over the place when we plant our new moon seeds tomorrow. So on Tuesday. So today is composting. And I know that takes time, but we're talking spiritual realm. So time ain't, you know, where there's no linear time there. So it's going to compost really quick. You're going to have this awesome stuff by tomorrow. Then tomorrow at lunchtime, and the new moon lasts, let me check really quick. That energy goes from boopity boo. Got all my little computer apps here. Wrong app. I need the calendar. Okay. So that new moon starts tomorrow, 3 days. And it starts tomorrow at 12:22 p.m. Central, goes till Thursday, 11:59 p.m. So like midnight, Thursday. So you got some time. And what you're going to do is maybe do a meditation where you imagine yourself with 3 little seeds. Okay. And if you don't know exactly the things you want to manifest, that's okay. What I want you to write on those seeds is joy on one seed, love on one seed, and abundance on one seed. And then what I would love to see you imagine yourself doing is making little holes, digging some holes in the dirt, putting your little seeds in the ground, and then covering it with the compost and then more dirt. So you got lots of food for the little seeds that are going to just burst forth with joy, love, and abundance for you as we navigate this lunar cycle. Okay. So if we don't know what we want, stay in those feelings, plant those seeds and let them nurture the seeds, and don't dig them up asking where your joy is. Don't be all like, hey, you growing joy yet? Don't do that. Just plant them and go about your business. Okay. Because there's going to be a lot of other crap going on. So that's Tuesday. Then Thursday, Wednesday, there doesn't like, it's not like, oh, it's quiet. You're still doing other things. But Thursday comes and we have Pluto entering into Aquarius, which is kind of stuff that astrologers that I've been following have been talking about for quite some time. And jokingly in my newsletter, I refer to this as like, you know, there's just not been happening for like 250 years, which, you know, that guy Alexander Hamilton, who Lin-Manuel Miranda was so fascinated by that he wrote a musical. Yeah, that guy was alive the last time this all happened. So with that in mind, a lot of stuff around there. So think of it from the perspective of, you know, Pluto is birth, death, rebirth, right? And Aquarius is everything tied to thought and free thinking. So we're going to see a shift, and Aquarius is about the community. What can I do to serve the collective? That kind of stuff. Like, where can I serve myself so that as I'm nurturing myself, I nurture the collective. So there's like this whole transformation going to happen, and you probably are starting to see it. You know, you might see it on the news, you might see it on an individual level, you might feel this like wonderful kind of like, okay, I feel like I'm not quite sure what's coming, but it's gonna be okay and it feels okay. And I'm oddly not worried about anything. Like that's kind of what I feel, even though everybody that I'm watching is like, Pluto's going into Aquarius and gonna go retrograde, and there's gonna be a return, and and I just am like, I am not feel I feel that there's stuff happening, like big stuff. Like if you're one of those people that likes to watch the news and doom scroll and go into a shit spiral, you're gonna have a blast because there's gonna be a ton of shit for you to watch. But if you want to stay in observer mode and kind of be like, oh wow, I feel okay, like really tuning into yourself, going, I'm okay. I feel okay. I'm watching like a lot of people kind of run around screaming like Chicken Little, like and screaming, but I'm okay. So I'm just gonna sit here and be like, here's my popcorn. Hmm, that's interesting. If you can stay there, you'll be fine. If you want to participate in that, that's your choice, and that's cool too. But I think you'd have a much better go of it if you can kind of just be like, and also don't be afraid to enforce boundaries around your peace of mind. I've done that in the last 24 hours, and it was interesting. But I'm like, I'm not going to talk about that. Like I literally said, I ain't talking about that. Some stuff came up, and me and someone else saw the same situation in two very different ways. And I said, when that kind of started to spiral, I was like, I looked over and I said, no, I'm not participating in that conversation. My vibe is over here. I'm not going down here. No. Mm-mm. And that was it. So, quite honestly, I think you have to sit down this week and decide. I think this is another thing, spiritual boundaries. People only think you have to put boundaries in place with other people. No, you can enforce spiritual energy boundaries. And that means you may communicate with other people, may communicate with spirit, whatever, but it's like, hey, this is my dance space. That's your dance space. And we ain't dancing with this subject matter. No, I love you. No. So, and then when you find people that want to talk about the stuff you like to be like, hello, friend, come on in and let's high vibe together. These are the kinds of things. It's going to also be a shifting of like seeing something where it'd be like, oh, that's what was really going on. And decluttering also in the sense of who's staying and who's going, who's in my corner and who's not, that kind of thing. So there's all this kind of stuff going. So, I feel like I'm saying things that are very jumbled in the topics, but that's really the energy of this week. It's not as bad as last week where you have all this going on and you're all up in your feels. So, like last week, it was like I said, ugly cry for like 2 weeks while also feeling like, I don't even know what's going on. Ah, okay. And then this week, it's just kind of like, you know what? That last 2 weeks of ugly crying was like total releasing. This morning I woke up and I was like, I feel like all I want to do is giggle. And I don't know why. So apparently that's another form of releasing. And so that was going on. So there might be a lot of this releasing, even though it's a new moon, you're still kind of going into that energy till tomorrow, building, releasing the last little bits. It might come out as a cry, a giggle, a scream, whatever. And that's okay. Let it happen. And then we come into the new moon, plant your joy, love, and abundance seeds. And we come into this new energy where, we're kind of moving into that, like that birth, death, rebirth kind of cycle or life cycle, like, the life cycle of a thing. I feel like that term is much more applicable. So you're going to see different structures, whether it be, you know, government structures, because I think that a lot of people talking about that, financial structures, a lot of people, we saw that, maybe structures in relationship, all that kind of stuff. Structures as far as like this week, normally I am a planner girl. You guys know I have pens upon pens that erase all kinds of pens, 2, 3 kinds of planners, everything, all things, right? And all weekend I was like, you need to sit down, do your brain dump, and do your planner. Even this morning I got all my crap out and I was like, you know what? I don't want to do my planner. And it wasn't like I'm not motivated to get on topic and do things. Like I posted on Facebook, I sent people emails. I'm doing the things I'm supposed to be doing. And it was kind of like, I just want to flow. I'm going to sit here and listen to my Schulman resonance music. I mean, that's really what was going on today. So I don't know if that's a permanent thing, but right now I'm just, since my word for the year is flow, I'm just going to go with it. But I really feel like this week is going to leave you, we talk about wormholes in science, right? Where a wormhole is you're at one point in space and then you shoop, go through the wormhole and all of a sudden you're like 50,000 light years away from where you began before the wormhole. Okay. That's kind of like that. It was almost like the wormholes were longer starting in 2020 and they just get shorter and shorter and shorter. And now it's like, zoop, zoop, zoop. So, like, when I look at where was I 6 months ago? So, where was I 6 months ago? In the fall, did I think I'd be moving? No. Did I think I'd be doing sound healing? No. Did I think I'd be actually, I've always been a channel. Did I think I'd be doing channeled energy stuff? No. Or energy, like I started to call myself a, a musical and an energetic musician. That's kind of one of the things. And I've started studying shamanism. Did I think any of that would be going on? No. I just focused on the emotion and here I am. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. Where were you 6 months ago? Really think about that. And where are you now? Because you're probably going to be like, how did I get here, man? Not bad, but you're like, whoa, that was like zoom. Like I said, wormhole. Zoom, zoom, zoom. And like last week, 2 weeks ago, zoom, zoom, zoom. Last week, zoom. This week, you're just getting into the wormhole right now. Zoom. And come Friday, you're gonna be like, what just happened? I gotta write this down. Okay. So understand that's what's happening. So what I want to do is I'm gonna pull some cards because I love my animals. And I've had them pack away all of my cards, y'all. So I saved my babies because I want to share them. So we save the babies. So, so one of my videos recently, I talked about the connection between self-love and self-care, right? So self-love is the vibration of loving yourself, of really understanding your worth and your value and honoring that and honoring you as you are in your moment, in your body, who you are. Self-care is the actual manifestation of those things. So if you don't self-care because you choose not to, that's when you kind of go, "Ooh, I need to check in on my self-love. And where am I faltering here? And where can I nurture myself back?" So self-care, and sometimes it works in reverse. If I'm feeling kind of poopy, maybe if I go do something that is self-care related, it'll remind me that I love myself. So it's kind of reciprocal, whatever. Anyway, so this week, I feel like because there is so much going on, it's almost exhausting to think about. So honor yourself. Honor yourself, self-love, and maybe take a nap if you have time or if you have it in your schedule to do. Maybe go get that petty you've been putting off. Maybe go and if like sitting around and you ain't done your taxes yet and you're like, man, I got to get those done and it'll make a load off my mind, even if I got to pay money. Get them done. Take care of business so that you can take care of you. Okay. So what I'm going to do is we're going to ask Spirit, okay, Spirit, what do we need to know to support ourselves through this very, very interesting transformational week? What do we need? Okay. This, It says Brady Olson, but I know that's probably Bren, and that's funny because Bren, if you're still watching me or watching the replay, check out what came up as a helper. Ooh, Panther. Yes, Queens. Okay. So first things first, this card actually, I didn't even pull the card over the weekend. I was talking to a friend, messaging, and she was talking about how the deers finally started showing up back in her yard. And she said, I've been in such a shitty mood lately, last 2 weeks, shitty mood. And she goes, but they finally came back and I missed them. And they even laid down in the yard and I'm laying in the bed because sometimes I'll just text from bed and I'll say, I think the deer card is bring a gentle touch. And Deer Spirit's been following me and several other folks for quite some time. So when we think about this week, bring a gentle touch. What does that mean? Be compassionate, loving, kind to yourself. As you go through this week, you might trip over something, and instead of telling yourself you should have seen what you tripped over, say, "It's okay. Let me dust you off here, honey." Give yourself a hug. Be gentle, bring a gentle touch so that we're not screaming at ourselves about what the transformation is carrying, what's going on, if we're not transforming the right way, which is bullshit. There's no right way, it just is. Bring a gentle touch. Love yourself, okay? And then do some self-care, just like I said before. Now, the helpers. Hello, Bren. This morning, haha, before you pulled in, I looked at London Marie and I said, I bet it's deer. She has her deer outfit on. Oh my goodness. She's like, little London Marie is a walking oracle card. That is awesome. I love her so much. And I haven't even met her yet. I would be so excited to meet her, by the way. I'm excited. Anyways, the helper spirit for this to keep that. So the way that I read is not past, present, future. It's here's the answer and here are the supportations of those things. Because a lot of times it's like, bring a gentle touch. How do I freaking do that? Okay, so co-create with spirit. That's crow spirit. It's co-creation. Understand that when we are bringing a gentle touch to us, remember, you're not alone in this journey. That's kind of the cool thing about following the metaphysical way of doing things. This is the way. It's like the Mandalorians, right? He went and if y'all following Mandalorian on Disney Plus, so he got kicked out of the Mandalorians because he removed his helmet like 2 seasons ago or some shit. And then they were like, "You best to go into the healing waters, the healing live waters of Mandalore in the cave, some cave shit." So more, allusion to shadow work. So he had to go do his shadow work, and then he could come back and join the tribe, right? So it's almost like we kind of did our shadow work in the last couple of weeks, years. It's still going on. But he had a team with him. He had the baby Yoda that we all know now is Grogu. Now he also has the gal who's actually the heir to the Mandalorian throne. Okay. So he's traveling with the team. He's like Team Mandalorian guy, who I forget his name, but I love the show. Anyway, this is reminding you you are not alone. You co-create with spirit. That's why it's called co-creation. Otherwise, it would just be creation, not co. Co meaning together, with another, together, all of us, you and source energy. So bring a gentle touch. And when you're feeling icky, lean on spirit, lean on source, lean on God, whatever you call. Okay. And it'll be there for you. Lastly, Panther spirit comes in upside down. I forgot that I knew that. Panther spirit. Oop, right here. Reclaim your power. What does that mean? Reclaim your power. What does that mean? It means to remember that we are responsible and accountable for our energy. Now, what does that really? Because, like, when I say that to people, they go, "Oh God, don't tell me I'm responsible for the shit." Okay, why are you punishing yourself? If you knock over a glass of water, you're still responsible for the glass being knocked over. And you think to yourself, you have two choices there. You can either be like, go beat yourself up and let the water go everywhere. Or you can be like, oopsie doodle, let me clean that up and I'll go get some more water. Which one feels better? Sitting around beating yourself up, crying, hating yourself, or just going, oh, that sucks. Let me go get a towel. I'll fill up my glass and I'll get on my way. Saying instead of punishing, so if we remove punishment from the punishment energy from accountability, responsibility, and we look at it and we say, oh, responsibility means I am able to respond. I am empowered to respond in the way that I see fit that is best for me. Way better way to reclaim your power. So instead of getting all upset, some teacher told me that I am the reason my whole life is screwed up. Well, it might be your energy and the fact is that, yeah, maybe because of the way you were raised and you got stuck and nobody taught you, it's okay to let go any guilt around letting go of shitty thinking. And how do I even do that? And loving myself so much that I can detach from all of that and cut all the cords, heal all that stuff up, clean up, not just the mess maybe I have made, but the mess that was left for me by whoever, ancestral stuff. But when you kind of start polishing away all the things, I want to remind you something. It's not all about ancestral trauma. It's not all about trauma bonding. That is sitting in your shit. Trauma bonding is sitting in your shit. Ancestral trauma, the way they talk about it, sitting in your shit. Am I saying it doesn't exist? No, I am not. Am I saying it's not shitty and we should just accept it? No, I'm not. I'm a huge, huge ERA person. If you did not know that about me and you won't want to follow me anymore because of it, fine. But I am a firm believer in that. And that needs to pass because when you put stuff in writing in the 3D, it means everybody's on the same page. Is it shitty that it's not there? Yeah. Do I feel in my guts at some point it will be? Yes. But in the in between, am I going to dwell on the fact it's not there all the time? No. I am going to live in my own freedom. Mm? So I'm reclaiming my power by being responsible for my energy, how I show up, and accountable for what I do, not just in reference of other, but of self. That's how you reclaim your power. You realize what's going on, and then you say, oh, I get to be in charge of that. Sometimes people go, that's too much for me. And you know what? That's okay. I don't want to be responsible or accountable for my stuff. Okay, be honest with yourself, but know it's okay, and know that that means you're laying you're laying your peace of mind and your well-being at somebody else's feet, basically, and then getting upset when it doesn't come back positive. But when you take that back, that's that's be responsible for your own well-being, your own mindset, your own loving of self. That's when your power is reclaimed and you can move forward in all this. So if we can kind of stay in that kind of good, solid, well-built bubble of self, not in a way that's conceited or closing off from other or not interacting with other, but you're really certain in the fact that it's okay to be gentle with myself. It's okay to co-create with spirit. I don't got to do everything on my own. And in fact, being this vulnerable with self, being this honest with self creates power within myself. And I am reclaiming that power. Not I'm reclaiming the power. It's much more, I am so love-centered, and that's the power that I need. Not trying to lord over someone else. I am lording over, or with I am. I guess lord is not a good word. I'm trying to find. I'm going to be impeccable with my word. Self-governing maybe is a better way to put it. If I'm going to govern over myself, reclaiming my power is the big deal. Okay, so this week, we're going to be witnessing a lot of stuff, whether it be a personal interaction, watching it on the news from afar, whether you watch the news or you get it through Facebook or you watch, Late Night with Seth Meyers and his thing, or Saturday Night Live news, like depending on how you get your things. But seeing what's going on in the world, seeing what's going on in your own little world, and then for you as an individual, there's going to be a lot of shifting. That'll be lots of shifting on lots of levels. So stay grounded, do the grounding things, root vegetables, red meat, if that's your jam. Um, Go outside in your bare feet if it's warm enough. It's not warm here, so I ain't doing that. Or get on a grounding mat if you have one. And just commune with source. Do a lot of meditation. Stay centered, and you will observe, and everything will be cool. And that's this week. So I want to thank everybody who's joined me live. If you're joining me in the replay, hashtag replay and leave me a little note. If you haven't liked, subscribed to my channel already, go ahead and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Also, this week, I do not have any single session appointments, but I am booking into April. So there's links for that below. Also, I have 2 spots for co-creative life coaching. If anyone is interested, you can go ahead and book yourself a curiosity call so we can chat about working together. And other than that, I have to go and tidy my house. I manifested 3 showings on a Monday. What? So anyways, I'll probably be sharing some more information about that soon. I'm still not ready to share just yet, but just giving you, what's going on kind of, and I'll let you know more specifically when I know. So anyway, I love y'all so much. Thank you for joining me. Have a lovely, lovely week. Stay grounded. Love yourself so much. I love you so much. And give a little kiss to the London Marie from me, Bren. and say, crazy Auntie Michele loves her already, and I've not even met her. So I will see you all soon, and have a wonderful week, y'all. Blessings. I'll see you in the vortex. Bye-bye.